Hello friends, this is Jim joining you once again from Starduster Services, and today I'm just musing on Jupiter transiting through Gemini. And whatever I share in these videos is meant to be helpful and useful, so take what works, take what resonates for you, and disregard the rest, okay? I put it out there with the understanding that it's not personal, it's vibrational, right? It's not personal, it's energetic. People who need to find what I'm sharing will be guided by their internal GPS system to find this video. And those who come by it and click on it and it immediately doesn't resonate for them, they'll just shut it down and go on to the next thing. And that's how it works for me when I'm out searching for content on social media as well. So Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini in astrology is the sign of duality, of pairs of opposites, of polarities. And Jupiter expands and increases whatever he's in touch with. So as Jupiter transits this sign of polarity and duality and communications, and it's the sign of the twins, he's going to retrograde in this sign later this year. So Jupiter has an extended stay in Gemini. And just in the last few days, Mars crossed over Jupiter and has been amplifying some of these energies. So periodically I get asked the question, why all the quarreling in the world? Why all the fighting? Why all the disagreements? Why all the conflicts and controversies and endless disputes? Why litigation and court and lawsuits and people are suing each other? This is just from what I've learned in my journeys, in my world travels and studying great books of knowledge and taking lessons and instruction from all of my endless list of teachers and mentors along and guides along the way. So this is how I understand it. Again, take it or leave it, whatever works for you, whatever's useful. The quantum field in which we're now existing is set up by its very cosmic design to be a field of opposites, right versus wrong, black versus white, right? Republican versus Democrat, pro-guns, no guns, pro-choice, pro-life. All these polarities and opposites exist as an opportunity for us, the living entities, to exercise our free will. Because whenever we choose, whenever we make a decision, from that choice or from that decision spools out all these consequences. And by experiencing the consequences of our choices and actions and decisions, we realize, hey, this is causing me more distress, or hey, that worked. This is causing me to be more in the flow, to be more, have a greater sense of well-being. This is bringing me greater success in getting towards my goals. And so through this process of exercising our free will, our decision-making power, when confronted with pairs of opposites, dualities and polarities, we refine our desires more and more and more through trial and error, through experience. That's how we evolve. And we can devolve and we can evolve. Through our choices, if we become identified with something, and identification means I think I am that thing. So, the bodily concept of life, the premise that I am this body, therefore I am Caucasian, I am male, I am born in California, in Los Angeles, I am American, I am married, I am this, I am that, I'm an astrologer, I'm a life coach, I'm a consultant and an advisor, and I'm a writer, and I'm this, and I'm that, all based on the bodily concept of life, right? So to evolve and gain more freedom, which is what all of us want, we want more freedom from suffering, more freedom from constricting and restricting and confining circumstances. We want better health. We want better relationships. We want to attract more abundance into our lives, and so we can contribute to things that are meaningful for us, and we can pay for experiences that we find valuable, right? So evolution means becoming identified with who I really am, who and what I really am. And based on all my studies and travels, I have come to realize that I'm not this body. I'm an eternal spark of consciousness. I am awareness. I have feelings and thoughts, right? But I'm not those feelings and I'm not those thoughts, because I'm not the body or the mind. I'm not my memory. I'm not my history. I'm not my story. I'm not my narrative. Now, for many years, I've been caught in my own loops in my own limiting beliefs and my own, because I've made so many decisions of defeat. When I experienced great pain or great suffering or great failures or great humiliations, I made decisions. I reacted very impulsively in those moments, and I said things and I did things, and later these things became set up in my unconscious mind. And so now, as I navigate in the present now, in the eternal moment, I come up against resistances that are floating up from my unconscious mind, and I have to become aware of what those are, see them for what they are, dismantle them, unpack them, heal them where they need healing, and move forward in my own personal journey of conscious evolution. This is evolution, right? So these pairs of opposites, these dualities, karmically speaking, these things have to play themselves out. And of course, the analogy of William Shakespeare comes to mind. All the world is but a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. So think of your favorite actor in movies, in stage, in film and television, documentaries, whatever. Through their career, they have played many different characters. But when the curtain closes at the end of the stage production, or the credits roll at the end of the movie, they are no longer that character. They are the actor playing that character. So similarly, in each lifetime, for all of us, we identify with the bodily concept of life. I was born in America. I was born Caucasian. I was born a man in a man's body, right? But as we progress along our journey of self-realization, we start to realize that I'm none of these temporary designations, because they're all temporary, because they only have to do with the body. And the body itself is temporary. We don't get to stay in these bodies forever. None of us knows how long we have in them. So there's a certain urgency to the human form of life. And there's a gift, there's a blessing with our advanced intelligence and our more developed consciousness, that we can ask the deep and profound questions of life. Right? Who am I? How did I get here? What is this place? Why is all this crazy stuff happening? Where do I go after I leave my body at what we call, quote unquote, death, right? So these are the questions. What is the meaning of my life? Does my life have purpose? Do I have a destiny? Am I supposed to do something specific in this life? Or is everything just a random, haphazard, chaotic, just molecules bumping into each other in the cosmos, right? These are the questions that only we can answer for ourselves. And the beauty of the modern age, especially with technology, especially with the internet, there's so much knowledge available to us now. All the distilled wisdom of all the great traditions, all the religions, all the paths of yoga practice, all the spiritual lineages and the martial arts lineages and the different philosophers and philosophies and metaphysical doctrine. It's all out there. There's music, art, entertainment, science, technology, research, quantum mechanics, physics, mathematics. It's wonderful. And depending on what we gravitate towards, what starts to resonate for us, what makes sense to us, we'll follow a particular path. Sometimes for a long time, sometimes just briefly, and then we'll disregard it and find a different path that more accurately reflects what we're trying to do and who we're trying to become. So again, just to summarize, the quantum field is a field of duality. And even in the ancient Vedas of India, the Sanskrit texts of human knowledge, it says, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. So these are the extreme polarities, right? And all the wisdom traditions from all the world's great cultures advises us to do the same thing, to evolve away from suffering and into blissfulness, into ecstasy, into joyfulness and expansion and enthusiasm and optimism, and to evolve away from ignorance towards enlightenment, to become more and more and more conscious of ourselves, why we get triggered, why we react the way we do, what is this place, how is it working, why are these people doing this to these people, and we start to become detached. Right? When we engage in these practices, we get knowledge and detachment. We get some distance between ourselves and what we're observing, so we can take a breather and start to just go, whoa, I see that. Oh, I start to see that everywhere now. That truth that I read about in that one text of knowledge, I'm starting to see it everywhere. So this is the path. And sometimes we experience setbacks and we have to go back and go over something, an area of life that we thought we had mastered, but we really didn't. It's like there's more homework to be done in that area. And there's no right or wrong way to go about it. And I've learned through my own painful experiences of comparing myself to others and then judging myself for not being as affluent, not being as popular, not being as successful. I have always looked to others, to kind of guide me. Where do I want to go? And it boils down to, I am the captain of my own ship. I am the master of my own soul, right? I think it was Plato or Aristotle or Socrates that said, humans are the architects of their own fortune and misfortune. And in one of the Upanishads, it says, you are what your deep driving desire is. Whatever your deepest driving desire is, so become your thoughts. And as your thinking becomes, so becomes your will. And as your will is, so becomes your deeds. And as your deeds are, so becomes your destiny. So just some food for thought as Jupiter, the great expansive planet, right? He's called the guru in Vedic astrology. He's known as Brihaspati. He's the bringer of good fortune, of wisdom, of expansion. And also the other side of Jupiter is overindulgence, self-righteousness, that smug that I know it all and you need to learn from me kind of vibe. And so every planet has a whole range of potentials that we can activate. So anyway, just some food for thought. As you navigate your own journey of conscious evolution, I'm always wishing you only the very best. I only wish everyone well on the journey. Be safe, take such good care of your precious selves, and may all your dreams be fulfilled. So I'll talk to you again. Thanks so much.